this morning we're going to be working on a 2010 Mazda CX-7, and we're going to change out the air cabin filter. So this has been something that I really wasn't sure what it was, and I was looking through the owner's manual and I found that this is something that we need to replace after something like 75,000 miles. So this is what the new air filter looks like. And then I think you'll all be surprised once we open her up and see what the inside looks like. All right, the first thing that we're gonna wanna do is open up the glove box. That's pretty simple. And then in order to get the glove box compartment off, there's a couple of steps that we need to follow, which are pretty easy. The first one, I'm kind of highlighting down there, there is a small latch that we're gonna have to take off. Then the second part is we're just gonna have to pop off these little knobs, and the glove box is just gonna come right out. And there's another one right over there. So first things first, we're gonna get to that little latch that I just spoke about. So all you do is slightly push up. Wait a second. I'm gonna slightly push up on the glove box while trying to hold this camera simultaneously. And then you push it out. So as you can see, I just kind of unhinged that little portion there. And then so next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go to take off those little knobs, or at least push them out. All right, so let's do it. Now I'm popping off these knobs that we see here on the side. There's one right there, and then one right there. So I recommend starting off with the one on the left. It's much easier to pry off than the one on the right. So we're gonna go ahead and do that right quick. That's one. And now switching to the other one. This one's a little bit tougher, but you can get it off easily with one hand. So once you pop that down, you'll notice that the glove box is still being clung onto by these little clamps. That can be easily removed. So all you do is just gently take it off, and there you go. So now getting to the air filter, the cabin air filter compartment. So you'll see that there's 3 arrows pointing down. You're gonna wanna remember that whenever you're putting this plastic cover back on. So just go ahead and take that off, pretty simple. I'm gonna set that down right there. And then there is your air filter. So when we take this out, I think you're gonna be surprised how dirty this thing is. And then when you remove it, you kind of remove it at an angle. So as you can see, it kind of gets caught right there on whatever that thing is. So just simply manipulate it out of the way. Okay, so there is your old air filter. Throwing that down there. And then we're gonna take the new one right here, and I'm gonna spray some Febreze on it here right quick. And why spray Febreze on there? Just make it smell good. All right, so we're gonna get ready to put in the new air filter. So remember when we were taking out the old air filter, told you that pay special attention to the arrows in the direction that they're pointing. All right, so they were pointing down, so we want to install the air filter the same way. So we're just gonna simply put that sucker back in. It'll slide right in real easily. And then we just place the cover back on. Oops, back in there. And you see there's a couple of notches that the cover just kind of fits into. And you're just going to want to seat it back in place. Once that's done, so you just put the glove box back on in reverse order. All right. So one key thing that I found before we do that is this little latch here, it extends in and out. So what you're gonna find out is, if you didn't know that, it's gonna be really hard to kind of reclip that back to where it belongs. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend it out a little bit, and it'll naturally go back into place once it's ready to be firmly seated. All right, so I'm simply putting the glove box back on the hinges, and once that's done, I'm simply gonna relatch this. You hear it snap right back on, nice and easy. And then all we have to do is pretty much push forward, and then your glove box and these little prongs or notches, they're gonna slide back in place where they belong. And guess what, fellas? We're gonna be done. Boom. Slides back into place. You should just be able to close the compartment and open it back up. And now you're good to go.